What up, world? You already know what time it is. Back with another one. It's your favorite co-host, Podcast Pack. And as always, I'm here with the man with the plan himself, Coach D West. What's going on with you today, Coach?
Man, I can't call it, man. Just feeling real blessed at the moment.
For sure, for sure. How was your weekend, man?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. I ain't do too much.
Good.
How about yourself?
Nah, I can't call it, man. I just ran around with family the whole weekend. Really ain't do nothing too crazy. But it was a
Yeah,
good
I
weekend though.
ended up starting a new book this weekend. One
Okay.
of Dave Ramsey books. I haven't started it. Well, I haven't. I'm on the intro right now because I was in the process of reading another book, but I'm on the intro right now. I plan to knock that out within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we definitely need to start having not a book club, but throwing out some good self help books or anything that we might be reading. Like I know for me personally, Think and Grow Rich, that was a big one for me. Like I know it's a
Man, that's a
cliche, but people say all the time, like they always talk noise about Think and Grow Rich because it's a cliche book to throw out. Like, but I honestly it changed up my whole perspective on
nah,
life
for
in general.
real.
Honestly, like
For real. If you haven't given that a try, especially if you're in the reading or even if you're not in the reading, put on the audio book. But that's that's gonna be a game changer. I actually want to shout out one of my good friends, Jarrell Dawson. He actually just published his first book. It's called Because I Can. I'm gonna actually give that a try within this next week or so. I read like a page or so. I did finish it because I was in the process of transitioning from another book when I first opened it, but I'm gonna give that a try this week, and I already know it's gonna be pretty good, man. He's a great dude with a great mind. So if in the reading or in the audio books, Think and Grow Rich is definitely one that can start you off and start your
for
hunt
sure.
on changing your mindset. Give my boy a shout out too, man, because I can. You can get that book on the audio book, or you can get it from a store as well.
Definitely. That's major, man. Anybody who does things like that, we always want to support. Especially if it's people that we know personally, you know what I mean? So I definitely be giving the book a check and I check it out as well. Before we get into the actual topic of the episode today, we kind of went, I ain't gonna say we went viral, but the other day we had a very interesting take pertaining to generational talent. And I had the pleasure of having some friendly exchanges, back and forth exchanges with people on social media. And I say this, man, in a world where um everybody is quick to attack you for having an opinion, I'm glad that none of the exchanges that I had online the other day got out of pocket. So I'm grateful that we building that kind of fan base and support base, you know what I'm saying? That we can come and we can trade ideas, we can have back and forth, and we can agree to disagree on things and
Yeah, for
not
sure.
necessarily have to resort to, the typical name calling and trying to
Yeah.
discredit people and things like that. You know what I mean? So, that was really interesting to me, especially for that to be our first real clip that went quote unquote viral, you know what I mean? Because it did
Yeah, for
numbers on
sure.
TikTok and Instagram. So, I'm grateful that we building that kind of fan base and support base for sure.
And that's what it's all about, man. And the things that we talk about on the show is opinionated. Like, especially,
Definitely.
topics like that. Like that's just, for the basketball heads, for the basketball junkies, brain food.
Definitely.
And even my LeBron tape, like
Yeah.
if I could go back and change that, I probably would because I had some conversations with some people after that and they
Definitely.
they kind of sold my perspective. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
So I think LeBron is generational, but that's here and there. That's a topic for another
Yeah,
day.
for
But
sure.
yeah, so everything, when topics like that, they're opinionated, you know what I mean? So
For
we
sure.
just, have fun with it, enjoy it, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
And
yeah, I'm glad people didn't run away with it too.
definitely. And with us pushing so much positivity, you know what I mean? So first and foremost, like nothing. Like we're not fake positive people, you know what I mean? The things
Yeah,
that we
for
talk
sure.
about on the pod, the things that we talk about, whenever we're having our conversations off the pod, we live by these things. So, like I said, it was good to have that exchange with our fans and our support. And I just wanted to say all opinions and feedback are always welcome on our platforms, bro. Especially if it's positive.
Yeah, and shout out to the ones who are tapping in and,
For
leaving
sure.
comments and likes and
For
subscribes,
sure.
man. Y'all the best. We appreciate that more than you know. If you have been tapping in and even if you don't have the time to tap into the episode, even if when you see us on social media, you leave a comment,
Definitely.
leave
100%.
a exchange, man. We appreciate that. We appreciate the support for real.
100%, man. I definitely got a shout out my boy J Mo, man. He left a comment on one of my Instagram reels and said that he pretty much watch every single episode. So shout out to you, big
That's
dog.
dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
we rocking with you. So without further ado, we don't want to take up too much of y'all's time on this good Monday. So hopefully you guys are catching this episode in transit on the way to get your week started. But the topic of today's episode is relationships. So you kind of brought this topic up to me the other day, and there are many kinds of different relationships in the world. So when you wanted to talk about relationships, what specifically did you want to talk about?
Just relationships like family, like relationships with that you build over the years with people, like because relationships rule the world, whether we,
100%.
whether we know it or not. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know and the relationships
100%.
that the relationships that you build along the way. And I think,
Facts.
it's such an underrated topic. And I made a post about this not too long ago, like growing up, especially like, in a not quote unquote rich society, they teach you to chase money, chase money. But, when were they gonna tell us that, money is not everything,
For
right?
sure.
Like it's stuff that it's more important than money, like health,
100%.
like
Yeah.
relationships, like because there's
Yeah.
no amount of money that can equal the relationships that I have with my family, my brothers, my mom. Like it's no amount of money I would trade for that. So that would make relationships more important. Like it's stuff like it's stuff like that. Like relationships can get you through hard times. Like relationships
Definitely.
can motivate you. Relationships can take you to another level. Like, so I just think relationships are undervalued because it's so important in today's society for sure.
I agree with you 100%. I think, I'm of the same mind as you. I think that relationships are more important than money because there have been times in my life where I went I lost it all. You know what I mean? I was down bad, but because of the relationships I built with certain people, they was able to pick me up, put me back in the game. Whether it be let me borrow a couple dollars or come pick me up. And once upon a time, it's full transparency. Once upon a time, bro, I went a whole year without a car. A whole year. I mean, this was I had to be like what 22, 23 years old. Went a whole year without a car. For me, I relied on the relationships that I had built with people to get to and from where I needed to go, mainly work and go get me some food and back home. But thankfully, I never had to ride public transportation a day in my life, bro. Never had to get on the bus a day in my life. You know what I mean? Because of the relationships that I built with people. You know what I mean? Because of the friendships that I have, where me and my friends we would do anything for each other. You know what I mean? Especially the people that I really call my friends. You know what I mean? We've been through so many things together that what I mean. It's if they ever needed me or if I ever needed them, it'd be a no brainer. You know what I mean? But even beyond friendships, there are other relationships like mentors and like, the
Coaches,
relationship
I,
yep, coaches,
yeah,
teammates, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So let me ask you this. What do you think it takes to build a strong relationship?
honesty, first off. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's the foundation of it. Just being able to, because it's not so much about what you say, it's about how you say it.
For
Like,
sure.
I think it's about how you deliver the message. Like, so you can tell someone how you truly feel, but it's just about how you say it, and that'll, depend on how they take it. But I think first and foremost is honesty. Just being honest, even if it's a basketball relationship, if it's a relationship outside of basketball, like just being honest. Like good relationships that built on honesty. Am I able to tell the truth to you? Am I able to be vulnerable to you? Without judgment. Those make the best relationships. That honesty and trust. Like I think that's the base foundation of it.
I agree. I think another aspect of building strong relationships is integrity. You know what I mean? Like if in order for you to have a healthy relationship with anybody, your significant other, your coach, your teammate, you got to do right by that person. You know what I mean? Now, whether or not that person does right by you in return, that's neither here nor there. But if you go into it with the intention of building a good relationship with a person, then and you practice integrity, you do the right thing, you do right by them, you make sure you ain't, backdooring them if it's a business relationship, you make sure that you ain't hating on your teammates if it's a basketball relationship, that kind of thing. If you make sure you do right by people, if you go into it with that mindset, the majority of the time, people gonna be how they are. And if you go into it with the right intentions, then nothing but good can come out of it as far as you're concerned. That's my opinion,
I 100% agree. And like you said, so it's some things in relationships that can kind of damage your relationship, but I also think, the strong relationships are built on stuff like integrity,
for
respect,
sure,
honesty. Like those type of things can go a long way, especially, basketball teammates,
for
right?
sure,
Because if it's built on honesty, integrity, like you're not gonna be jealous of this person for whatever accolades they're receiving. Because I'm a firm believer. I believe in destiny, quote unquote. Like you gonna get whatever you are meant to get if you put in the work. Like
for sure,
whatever is for you is nothing that it's nothing that you can do to stop me from getting what I'm meant to get if
for
I'm putting
sure,
the work in. Right. And I truly believe that. So man, if you got a strong relationship with someone, that shouldn't dictate your attitude towards their accolades. Like if they're getting accolades or even if it's outside of basketball, if they're doing good in life, like that shouldn't change. I should be cheering you on, clapping, cheering for you. Like,
for
yeah,
sure,
bro. If that's our relationship, if we're truly family, if we're friends, I'll be yeah. Like that's good. Good job. Like you're
for
motivation
sure,
to me. You should motivate me to
for
to
sure,
want better rather than, me being envy of that
for
because it's
sure,
like, why is not my time? Like, I believe in destiny. Like, as long as you put the work in, it might not be when you want it to come, but it'll come. But you have to put the work in. You can't skip that step. But so I,
I
I
agree
think
with you.
strong
I think
relationships build like that.
I think on the flip side of that, so as the person who, if you're the person who is receiving all the love and all the accolades, you also have a certain responsibility to those relationships as well.
Yeah.
Nobody likes somebody who brags or who's boastful about everything that you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not, nobody likes somebody who when they receive something they quick to go rub it in your face and
Right.
make it, you know what I mean? So make everything about them, about them, about them. I think that like I said, as a person who receives accolades and rewards and recognition, you also have a certain responsibility when it comes to building healthy relationships. You know
Yeah.
what I
It's a
mean?
two-way street.
For sure. 100%. Cause I mean, I say this humbly, bro. I receive a lot of love when I'm at work just because of the type of work ethic that I have, because I'm the type to work smart and not hard, but it make it difficult. Like sometimes, this is just me from my perspective. Sometimes me receiving so much rewards and recognition puts a strain on my relationship with my peers at the work spot because they feel like, man, another one? Another one, you know what I mean? And for me, it's like I have no, it ain't like I'm walking around asking for these things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have
Exactly.
no ill will towards y'all. I don't when I win in silence, you know what I mean? When I lose, I make sure that everybody knows it so that they understand that I ain't perfect. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing as far as my approach and how I'm able to keep those relationships stable enough.
That's a leadership characteristic, though.
For sure. I agree with you 100%.
I think, to be a good leader, like not to get too far off subject, but that goes into being a leader. Like if you're a leader, like you bring up the people around you and put yourself, last. That's being a leader, making sure everybody around you is. I'm gonna show you an example of a good leader. Like if you watch LeBron James interviews, Stephen Curry interviews after game, the first thing they might say is, "Well, yeah, my teammates put me in position." They
For
could
sure.
easily be like, "Yeah, man, they couldn't stop me. I
Yeah,
knew he couldn't guard me, so I went at him." But instead, like, it's always about somebody else. It's
for
always
sure.
about this team did this, my coach did this. Like
For
that.
sure.
That is a sign of a good leader. You don't want to be a me guy.
Yeah,
Like everything has
100%.
to be about me. Everything you want everyone to know that you put this play in for the team. You did this.
100%.
You know what I mean? You set this screen. You scored this point. Yeah, he hit the shot, but I set the screen. Like you don't want to be a me guy. Like you want to
Mhm.
be selfless, right? And that
I agree.
because it's harder for people to have a relationship with you if you're a me guy. Like so, you just I think that's a characteristic of being a leader. Like that's an example of a good leader. Those are some good leader characteristics.
Yeah, for sure, that's facts. Another relationship that I brought up a minute ago was mentorship. Not everybody has had the luxury of having a mentor. Have you ever had a mentor in your life?
Man, yes. Like,
What did that person
honestly
do for you?
man, honestly, like, this person did more for me than he even realizes. And I'm not gonna say his name because he in kind of higher position. But man, just going through when difficult times hit, when tough times hit, he was always there, just checking in, just telling me, like stuff I
Mhm.
needed to hear at that time. And that kind of, pulled me out of dark situations, kind of
Yeah.
pulled me out of, mental battles that I'm fighting with myself. Just him being there for me and then giving me knowledge when he didn't even have to, like that kind of, I'm not steer me down the right path, so to say.
Yeah.
Like it kind of made me chase who he thought I was.
Yeah.
Like, if you believe I'm this type of person, like I want to prove you right.
Yeah, I
You
gotta
know what I
live up
mean?
to
Like,
it.
I gotta live up to that. So
Yeah,
that kind of helped me a lot, especially because like early 20s, like you really just trying to figure it out.
definitely.
Especially from, like you've been playing. So I played basketball probably fresh like out of college. I started playing basketball, what, 5 years old?
Mhm.
And when I played 20 straight years, like, I'm not talking about 20 years of on and off. Like, I'm
Yeah,
talking
nah.
about like every single day. Like, it was so bad. Like, I broke my hand playing football and I had a cast on. Man, I was working out
Yeah,
right handed.
yeah, for real.
Like, I'm going to
Yeah, I
workouts
remember that.
right handed.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
it's
Cast
like
on and everything.
cast on and everything. And so like once you become locked in on something like that and you do it for so long and then you stop. So after college, when I stopped, it was kind of like, man, like what am I supposed to do with my life? Like,
Yep, yep,
like what am I supposed to do?
yep.
Like I've been doing this thing for 20 straight years. Like
Only this
basketball
thing.
was all I knew.
Yeah,
Like
only this
it
thing.
yeah, only this thing. And like I missed out on a lot of stuff that kids did. I missed out on a lot of stuff that, like men should know, honestly.
Yep,
Like
yep,
you should know like different things around the house you should know, but I missed out on that because every free time I had, it was spent in the gym. Like if
yep.
you go ask me to draw a play, you go ask me to do something like that, I could do that with my eyes
It's
closed. But
done.
then
Yeah, it's done.
then if you ask me to do something around the house that I'm not familiar with, it like, man,
Ask me to
like
barbecue, it's over.
it's over. You
It's
know what I
over.
mean? Like, and then, and people can look at it like, man, you should know how to do that. Well, yeah, that's your perspective. But my perspective is I was doing this thing for 20 years. Like, think about people like, I'm just use LeBron James. Like he been playing this game for 40
For
years
sure.
or however 35 years. When he stops, like it's gonna be like, well, his situation a little different, but he gonna be like, man, like, what am I supposed to
Yeah.
do? Like,
All
you know what I
retired
mean?
NBA players feel that way.
Feel that way. Like, so
Yeah,
when I finally stopped, like it felt weird not waking up for practice.
definitely. Yeah.
Like I'm waking up like, man, I need to do
Yeah,
something. Like
definitely.
I need to go work out or something. Like
Yeah,
I've been doing it for so long. So, in that transition before I found coaching, my mentor kind of helped me a lot. Like he kind of helped guide me because in the meantime, like I was kind of, I guess I was lost. Like, cause I didn't really know what else
who you
outside
was
of
outside of
basketball.
basketball.
Yeah. Who was out outside of basketball? Who was out outside of the court? And they always told you, the ball won't bounce forever. But then you're not really prepared for when it stops because all you know is work out 2, 3 times a day, get ready for practice.
Mhm,
On your off day, make sure you get some conditioning in because you got to go back for practice. And then when it
mhm.
stops, it's like, man, I gotta figure something out. So that relationship kind of helped guide me into coaching, and that's
Okay.
when I found like my purpose, like my why. Like I feel like you know this is one of the reasons
Yeah,
this is one of the things I'm supposed to be doing. And not only just for basketball, but like the mentoring kids. Cause I don't know, it could be a God's gift, but kids like just gravitate towards me.
for sure.
Like I
Always
think,
though, ever since you was a kid,
yeah, for sure. Like they
like babies and
gravitate towards
everything.
me. Yeah. And so like I can be that positive outlook for them. Like that
Mhm,
positive. Cause you can go anywhere and find negativity.
for
Like
sure,
you can go anywhere and find negativity, but to find
for sure.
somebody that's, positive and want the best for you and
Mhm.
like I just a dime a dozen. I'ma just say that.
Nah, I agree 100%, man. So for me, so I've only ever had one person that I could really call a mentor in my life, And for me, like for you, you say you met yours at what, 25, roughly
Yeah.
around that time. For me, I
Well,
was
I didn't meet him around that time, but he just kind of like that's when
yeah,
he
became that.
transitioned. Yeah, he
Yeah,
transitioned from coach leader to like mentorship on some
for
you
sure.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that
for
type of
sure.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I met mine maybe like 3 years ago, bro. And this was I had to been what, 28, 29 at the time. Know what I mean? Number one, it's never too late to find a mentor. I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
that I think that the important thing is, you know, you gotta find so for me, I was how we crossed paths is essentially he was in a position that I wanted. You know what I mean? So it started from me just asking him, "Hey, you seem like a cool dude, bro. What did you do to, get in your position? What did you do?" So I had to put my pride. I had to swallow my pride to ask somebody that. You know what I mean? I think that that's a very very important part when it comes to finding yourself a mentor. Like sometimes your mentor will just come and take you under their wing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They'll see the potential in you. They'll see the hard work. But for me, it was a little bit different. I always been the type of person that if I believe that if you want it, you got to go get it. So I was seeking assistance in my journey. You know what I mean? Ran across this dude, and I think that, like I said, I asked him what do I need to do to be where you are. He gave me a list of things, surface level things to do. You know what I mean? I think that he was just like, let me see if you're gonna even do this. You know what I mean? So he gave me that stuff to do. But the biggest thing in our relationship and why I cherish our relationship so much, even though like me and him, we rarely even talk right now. But and not because we fell out, just because, life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah, for sure.
get busy and you know what I mean?
Busy people,
But
especially successful people, they
yeah,
busy.
for
Yeah.
sure. So he's a successful person. I'm a successful person. So,
Yeah, for sure.
we just, but I think a big thing why our relationship was so solid and so strong is because I trusted him enough. Like I wanted to be what he was, and I trusted the game that he was giving me so much that I ain't had to question it. You know what I mean? Like I accepted it, and I trusted it so much that when he critiqued me on certain things, I took it, and I took it as constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people get too caught up in what the person is saying. They don't necessarily that people listen to respond and not listen to understand. You know what I mean? You get
Mhm.
caught up in what he's saying to you. You don't even really pay attention to the meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a big part of my relationship with my mentor was that I trusted him enough. I trusted the game that he was giving me enough to make the changes that he said I needed to make in order to become a better person. That helped me grow so much. I can't even stress it enough. Like I probably grew like since I met him, I probably grown the fastest than I have ever grown in my life. So I think that, I definitely encourage everybody out there to seek some guidance in the form of a mentor, bro. Especially if you know where you want to go in life, especially you need to go find somebody who doing
Yeah, for
what
sure.
you you
I'm
know what I mean. Go
doing what you
find
wanna
somebody
do.
who doing what you want to do and have a conversation with that person. And not every person that you stop and have a conversation with is gonna qualify to be your mentor. But I'm
Facts.
saying if you never stop and have a conversation, just go back to building relationships. You know what I mean? You gotta in order for you to gain relationships, you gotta network, bro. You gotta
You got
step
never.
outside of your comfort zone. You gotta go talk to people. You gotta shake hands. You gotta tell the people that you walk past every single day instead of walking past them tomorrow, stop and say good morning. How you doing? How you doing today? Good morning. You don't even gotta stop and talk. Just how you doing? Good morning. And one day turn into 2 days, 2 days turn into 3 days, and a week from now you'll be surprised at things that them people want to say to you.
Yep. Man, and I think that's a challenge. Like for the if you watching this, like I challenge you to reevaluate the people that's around you. Cause I'm gonna give you a gem. Like you want people around you that you wouldn't mind trading places with, right? So if you are around people that you would mind, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Surround yourself with better relationships, people that can help you grow, right? People that can help your future, not your past.
Mhm.
Like continue because those relationships, like I said, they're more valuable than a price tag,
For
right?
sure.
Those type of people, those type of relationships, they're more valuable than a price tag. Like people that genuinely want to see you win, that
Mhm.
genuinely are happy for you, that genuinely are motivating you to go to the next level and helping you go to the next level. Like it's no price tag that you can put on it.
Yep, I agree. It's never too late to start. building new relationships. And on the other side of that, it's never too late to fix broken ones either. You know what I mean? I think that that's an important part of life as well, especially if you plan on growing. If you plan to continue to grow, you gotta let go of whatever it was. You know what I mean? If you got problem with somebody that you ain't talked to in 5, 6 years, and you watching this episode right now, this is your sign to reach out to that person. And it might not even have been your fault, bro. Might have
Yeah.
been the other person's fault. You know what I
It
mean?
don't
But
even
this is
matter.
your sign. It don't even matter. Life is short, bro. You know what I mean? That you could literally not wake up tomorrow. You know what I mean? If it's in God's will, you could literally not wake up tomorrow, bro. So life is too short. So if you watching this episode, this is your sign to reach out to a person that you have been meaning to say words to, and say some words to them, bro. It don't even, it ain't gotta be nothing crazy. It's just a simple, start to fix these relationships, whether it be with family, whether it be with friends, especially family though, bro. Family is your blood gonna always be there for you, bro. You know what I mean? So I think that it's those are the most important relationships to hold on to. Now, granted, everybody's situation is a little different. Family doesn't always necessarily mean blood. Family can mean the people who show up for you every single day. It's people out here who don't have no more blood left. You know what I mean? But they got relationships with friends that are exactly like family. Like when I go home in Mississippi, I can go to so many friends' houses for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if I tell somebody I'm coming over their house for Christmas, I'm probably gonna have gifts there. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of relationships that I have created over time, and I encourage everybody to go out and create those kind of relationships. And if you've ever had a solid relationship and for whatever reason it fell through, let this be a sign to reach out and fix it.
Yeah. Those relationships are important for sure. Especially, life is like you said, life is short, life happens to everybody, stuff happens. Just, try your best to build as many relationships as you can, leave an impact on people. Like critics are everywhere. Try to inspire somebody. Like maybe you
Now,
could be a mentor to someone. Well,
maybe
reach out to people. And I try my best, and I haven't been doing it lately. I need to start back, but this is a challenge. I start my morning every morning with some gratitude texts. So I text someone every morning, just like, I appreciate you for XYZ. Thank you for XYZ. And that not only shapes my perspective. Like, not only does that, but it shows the person how much they mean to me, like on the relationship side of things. So cause like I said, relationships are valuable. Like keep those, cherish those relationships, cause once they're gone, they're gone. So cherish those relationships, and I think that'll go a long way.
most definitely, man. And for me personally, I'm gonna say I was slacking on that as well, where gratitude text and basically, hey, I'm just hitting you up to check on you, everything okay, kind of text messages. It's easy to get caught up in the day to day. It's easy to find yourself busy, and next thing you know, one day turn into two, 2 days turn into a week. Before you know it, you ain't talked to somebody in 6 months. You ain't
Hmm.
seen somebody in a year. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I had a very interesting summer. After everything I lost this summer, after everything that I went through this summer, I have been consciously making a decision to wake up every day. Eventually it'll become habit. Eventually it'll become, a no-brainer. It just become part of the process. But I wake up every day and consciously send a message to all of the family group texts that I'm in, all of the friend group texts that I'm in. I reach out to random people. If you run across my mind, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing and shoot you a text just to say, hey man, I'm thinking about you. You never know how that make people feel, man. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
you say, for someone to be thinking about you, it's a great feeling, bro. It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, man, I think that moral of the story is as we kind of get to the end of the episode and we start to wrap things up. The moral of the story is relationships mean more than money. Make sure that you guys are not, you know, I know a big thing once upon a time was being self-made. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be, oh, I did this by myself. I built myself up from the ground up. That's cool, bro. But I guarantee you that life was a whole lot smoother if you build some solid relationships with some solid people, man. Enjoy time with friends, enjoy time with family. Do good business if you got business relationships. You know what I mean? So value those relationships, create those relationships, cherish those relationships, and everything will work out fine in the end, man. That is one of the most important things in life. Right, coach?
Amen to that. Man, I'm gonna leave you all with this gym, man. Make sure you check out our latest episodes. Remember, we only dropping one time a week. So this give you a chance to catch up on some latest episodes. You might want to catch the last episode. We had some, some hot takes. Catch you some NBA playoff way too early predictions. We talked about some generational talent. So make sure you catch up on the last episode. That's one you don't want to miss, especially if you're a basketball junkie. The outside of that, I hope you all have a great week. Remember, inspire someone. Critics are everywhere. Be an inspiration to someone. All right, motivate someone. Outside of that, man, hope you all have a great week. Start your morning off with Successful Habits podcast.
As you go through this week, just remember, man, how do you want to be remembered? You know what I mean? Make sure you build those relationships so these people will show up for you when it's time to close the casket, man. And thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of Successful Habits. We out.
We out.